Hi everyone, Nigel Saunders here. Today I'm going to be working on these field maple seedlings, pruning them up, getting them ready for planting in a forest in spring. I got these seedlings in May of 2023 as part of a Kitchener-Waterloo Bonsai Society workshop where we were either creating clump styles with these field maple seedlings or creating forests. So I did the initial root work almost 2 years ago, and I've just been letting them grow since. So today I'll prune them up and get them ready for the forest planting. I have 2 trays of seedlings for my forest, and I have my older field maple here. These trees are all from the same parent tree. They were given to us by David from the Toronto Bonsai Society, so they're all from the same parent tree. And I'll use my larger field maple here as the main tree in the forest, and then I'll arrange all the seedlings according to their size and trunk thickness to make a nice forest in spring. It's important in your forest arrangements to have a large variety of sizes of trees. So you can see I have like a really small one here. Some of the others are quite a bit bigger. So the more variety you have, you can then place the smaller trees in the background to give forest perspective. And you can also place these smaller trees on the outside of the planting to create a nice silhouette to your forest. You can see on my northern bog forest here that I've got the smaller trees on the outside of the forest. And it always looks good because if you have large trees on the outside of your forest, it looks like they're crowded in the pot. So it's nice to have that sort of asymmetrical profile to the forest. It always looks pleasing to the eye. I've already done the winter pruning on my larger field maple here, so I can put that aside and I'll just work on the smaller ones today. When I'm pruning up these forest trees, I'm going to use that technique where I don't prune to the buds that I want to grow into branches. I leave one more set of buds beyond that point. So in spring, these first set of buds grow really rapidly in spring with long internodes, and it zaps the vigor out of the trees, and then you cut those off, and then you start your true branches from the buds below those when the vigor is less in the tree, so they grow more compact and you get finer branching. Forest trees generally have a different style than a tree just growing like in a field. They don't get, low branches that extend out because they're in a forest and the only light is from above and there's lots of trees in the forest. So they generally grow with straight trunks, and all the branching is generally at the top of the tree up in the canopy. You don't get big, thick lower branches in a forest, generally speaking. So that's kind of how I'll be styling these, with the intention to grow them as kind of tall, slender trees in a forest. I'm going to begin the pruning now. So I'll start with this tree, and you can see it kind of has a Y shape here. There's another third branch growing off here and a low branch down here. So I'm going to start by removing that low branch because, in a forest tree I don't want low branches on it. I've pruned off that lower branch, and now I'm moving up the tree, and I have 3 branches growing from one spot here. And I have to decide what I want. I can't have 3 branches growing from one spot because it'll thicken up the top of the tree here. You'll get kind of a thick ball-shaped section. So I need to reduce that to 2 branches. And I'm thinking of keeping the fine one here and removing maybe one of the other 2. And I'm picking the one that's the most vertical, which is this one. So I'll prune off this one coming out the front here, like that. Then if I follow this up, I've got buds here, 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 and here. So I can take the tip off this one, like that. And on this branch, I got buds at the base. I've got maybe buds here, buds here, buds here. So I think what I'll do is reduce it back to here, leaving lots of buds on that branch. So in spring, these top buds will grow with huge extensions. And when they've kind of hardened off, then I'll prune it back to these other buds and let those grow for the summer. So it'll keep the tree nice and compact, and I'll get really nice fine branching. The next tree is behind here, so I'll take out the center stub like that. And then again, I have a division of 2, which is good. I can rub off these buds at the base. I don't want any more branches growing at this junction. So those buds are getting removed like that. If I follow this trunk line up, I've got buds here, 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 and here. So I'm going to take these off right here. And then this one comes up. I've got buds here, here, and here. So I will take the top off to here. On this branch, I got buds here, 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 and at the tip. So I am going to take it off right here. So that tree's pruned up. The next tree I'll do is this one. It divides into 2 and then it shoots quite tall. So I'm looking for buds. I got buds here, 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 here. There's lots of buds on it. So I think I want to grow probably these buds. So I've got kind of a few sets above that. So I'll take it off right here. Like that. And then the stronger trunk line, I've got lots of buds all in this area. So I'll take it back to some buds back here. Taking that whole whippy top off the tree. The next tree I'll work on is this one here. So I have a stub coming up the middle I can prune away. So these trees were pruned when I did the root work. And then I've got another stub here, a little one, and I've got it dividing into 2, maybe 3 here. So this is, I think, my most upright branch. This one's quite upright, but this one's too horizontal, so I'm taking it off. Like that. And then I'll develop these 2. And I won't touch any of those buds on that tree. They're just too small still. And then I come around to this tree. I've got a branch coming off here. I have good buds here and here, so I can take the tip off. And I'm coming up. I've got 2 opposite branches here, so I need to take one off. So I've got a branch on this side, so I'll take this one off. So the branches are staggered. And then I'll come up the tree. I got buds here and here, 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 and here. So I think I'll take it off right here, like that. This tree, it has a division here, which is, it's okay. I have like a strong leader coming up here. I hope you can see that. And then a little branch coming off. So I'm going to prune off that strong leader and just keep that little branch as my branch leader. So that comes off, keeping this tip. Then I come up my main trunk line here. I have buds here and here, so I'll prune just above there, like that. So that now leaves me with just the tree in the middle here, the tallest tree. So on this branch I got buds here, here, and here, so I'll just take the tip off like that. And then the main trunk line, I've got good buds here, here, and here. So I think I'll take the top off right here. It starts to get pretty big, the inner nodes above that. So that whole top comes off like that. And that has got tray number 1 pruned up. So these are ready for repotting in spring to put into a forest planting. Here is tray number 2. And you can see in this tray I have a lot of really small seedlings, which is great. I like having a variety of sizes. So I won't be touching these really small ones. So let's go to this one first. I've got, the main trunk comes up and then I've got 2 branches here. So I'm going to rub off the smallest one and keep my thicker one in this case. And then I've got buds here, here, and here. So I'll just take the tip off like that. I won't touch this one because I have buds here and then my tip buds, so that can just develop. Here's one of the leaves off my field maple, so you can see They get nice little small maple leaves. They're quite nice for bonsai, and they're very hardy, these trees also. The next tree here comes up. It doesn't really have any branching yet. It has a little branch at the bottom. I think that's too low. I'm going to remove that. And there's another little branch at the bottom here. There's a bunch of buds on the lower part of the trunk. I'm going to rub those off. They're just too low. I don't want any branches down that low on the tree. So my first bud is here. I think that's okay. I've got another bud here. Buds here, here, and here. So I'm going to take off the top here. Like that. That reduces it back. The next tree is a fairly large one here. It has the start of branching here. So this one is kind of on the inside of the curve. I'll remove that one. I've got a little branch here, which is good. I have buds here, and then I have a long internode. So what I'll do is I'll keep that part as a sacrifice, prune off the top of the tree there, and these will be the buds I develop into the final branches. Next, I have a little tree here. There's a stub I can remove. I've got a branch here, buds here, buds up top, so I'll just take the top off the tree like that. This one, no branching until I get way up here. I will, which one should I keep? I've got a branch up here. I'll take off this one. Keep this branch intact. The buds here, here, so I can only remove the tip bud. And then I come up the trunk line. I got buds here and above, so I'll just take the tip off that. And that's pruned up. This one I won't touch. This one I might just take the tip off it. This one I'm going to prune it off to here. Then I've got one in the middle here, quite tall. I've got a few buds, pretty long internodes between the buds. I think in this case, because I have buds here and then no buds until way up here, so I think I'm going to take it off here, developing these lower buds into branches. If I left it too tall, I wouldn't get branches down lower, and I think it would just be too tall and whippy looking. There's another one in the middle here that I can prune. Again, I have lots of buds in this area, and then on the internodes start to get quite large, so I'll take it off here. And that leaves me with one more tree here, so a good trunk coming up. Good buds here, so I'll prune just above that. Like that. And that has got tray number 2. There's a dead stub here I can remove. Tray number 2 is all pruned up. So that is ready also for planting in a forest. Yeah, we're really happy with the variety of sizes of trees in this forest planting. I think it'll gives me lots to arrange. You can even see in this view, I've got the thicker trees up front and they get smaller to the back, and you get a nice forest perspective. It looks really good. Yeah, so I'm excited. I'll put it in a nice pot and try and make a really nice field maple forest for spring. Here's a look at the 2 trays of field maple seedlings, Acer campestre. And then here is what I took off them today. So not a whole lot, just a lot of these whippy tops. Yeah, so spring will be very exciting. I have a lot of trees that I'll be putting into forests, getting into larger pots. Yeah, there'll be lots of work coming up. And I usually start my repotting work towards the end of February, and it all depends on the weather. If it's really, really cold, then I'll leave it till later. But if I can keep the trees in the greenhouse here above freezing, then I can start my repotting early. I was at the thrift stores the other day, and I picked up a couple of items. One is this kind of Greek columns, and they're very detailed. I think they're made for aquariums. And I thought that would be a nice background to my olive tree eventually. So that's what I got that for. I can make a penjing with my olive tree. And I also got this metal truck. It's kind of like a, I guess, a Ford truck. And yeah, and it's metal. And so I'll be weathering that and just letting it rust naturally. And then I was thinking of planting it kind of like my Volkswagen penjing, with maybe, you know, a tree growing out of the bed. Maybe even a ficus growing over top of it or something. So eventually it'll be sort of a, you know, a truck forgotten in the forest and rusting away, and trees and nature growing all around it. Here's what my Volkswagen penjing looks like today. So the trees are slowly getting larger. It's looking more like a Volkswagen abandoned in an old forest. Yeah, I'm quite happy with this penjing. It's looking good. I have another truck that I got at the thrift store. And the advantage of these trucks is they're made of steel. So I sanded the paint back on this truck, and then I left it outside to rust naturally. And it looks really good, I think. This is a much smaller truck than the bigger one here. But it'll become part of a, you know, a similar penjing, a truck abandoned in the woods with trees growing all around it. Yeah, I kind of like that theme. It's interesting. Today is the winter solstice, the shortest amount of sunlight of the year. So from now on, the days will start getting longer, which is awesome because, yeah, we've had really cloudy weather lately. Today is the first day of sunshine we've had in a long, long time. So it's nice to see the sun, and it's also nice to know that the days are going to get longer. There's just something psychologically good about that. Yeah, so happy winter solstice, everyone. I was looking back at a video of my small leaf linden here from 2 years ago, and boy, has it ever developed since then. It's growing really, really well. And I really like this as the front of the tree. I like all these kind of upright branches coming off of this branch. The main trunk line is getting thicker. I've got a lot of branches on it. Yeah, I think it's going to make a nice tree in the future. I think it's on the right track. So that's kind of today's update. I'm kind of excited about my small leaf linden. You might be wondering where Joan is today. She was here this morning. She stayed overnight in the greenhouse, and I fed her in the morning, and then she was really playful, so she was outside playing, chasing leaves and looking at birds and stuff. And then, I don't know, she's disappeared for now. I'm sure she'll be back for her feeding tonight. So it's really nice to get all this kind of pruning work done in the middle of winter. So when spring comes along, all I have to do is arrange them in the forest planting. And I'm really looking forward to that. I think it's going to be exciting making this field maple forest. So that's all for today. I'm Nigel Saunders. Thanks for joining me in the Bonsai Zone.